Good afternoon and welcome to tonight's regional final matchup between the Mineral Point Pointers and the Viroqua Blackhawks. The Blackhawks coming off a 2-0 lead, or 2-0 win over Cuba City last night here at the Park Bowl to advance to the game tonight. Earlier in the year, Viroqua did face off against Mineral Point, winning by a score of 2-1. Mineral Point coming in the 6th seed. I believe Viroqua was the 2 or 3 seed. I think they're 2 seed. In the field for Viroqua, Braden Peterson doing the pitching tonight. Matthew Weston behind the plate. Alex Hoyam at first. Jack Dahl at second. Miles Fry at short. Jack Olson at third. Left field is Ben Zom. Center field is Connor Matheson. And in right field, Tyler Quackenbush. Tyler Quackenbush was the pitcher, the winning pitcher last night at the game. He only threw about 63 pitches, I believe, so he's got a few left in the tank if they need him. Viroqua, though, is blessed with quite a few young men that can throw the ball very well. So we're going to get things off. Mineral Point, top of the order is Bryce Vomstead. He will be doing the pitching tonight. He is followed in the order by Grady Finley from center field and Brady Radke at third base. First pitch is a called strike one. Left-handed Braden Peterson. Gonna miss outside and upstairs for ball one. That's going to be popped up to center field. Going back, making the grab is Connor Matheson for out number 1. Next up, number 23, the center fielder, Grady Finley. Last night's game lasted a whopping 1 hour and 15 minutes. It was almost 3 up, 3 down the entire ball game until Viroqua was able to score a couple of runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to Finley, a ball. That one's going to be fouled back off the light pole and back to Alex Hoyam at first for strike one. 1-1 the count. Weston sets up inside, and that's going to be fouled down the third base line, picked up by Jack Olson. And for the 5-3 putout for out number 2. First baseman Brady Radke up to bat. He is followed by the second baseman Landon Thousand on deck. Wind up and the pitch from Peterson, swung on, and a little chop right over shortstop, picked up by Ben Zom for the first hit of the game.
Second baseman, Landon Thousand.
That'll bring up Landon Thousand, the second baseman. A runner on first, left-handed pitcher in Peterson, so he's going to check the runner. And the pitch called, strike one. Inside and low, ball one. That's going to miss outside, ball two. That's going to miss just a little low and inside. 3-1 the count to Landon Thousand. The DH, Clayton Yana, on deck. That's going to be fouled down the first base line into the parked cars to load the count up. Full count to 1,000. Runner holding tight at first. Time called by 1,000. And here's the payoff pitch from Peterson. Swung on and fouled back into the parking lot again. Count remains 3-2. I'll throw back to first. Swung on, fouled back off Brad Rosh's face mask there behind the plate. Weston's going to go out and have a little chat with Peterson, maybe give him the magical pitch here to throw in the full count. A little fist bump between Weston and Rosh. Checks the runner at first. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back into the net. He's staying alive. He's eaten up some of those pitch counts. 15 pitches so far for Peterson, and that's going to miss just outside for a walk. So Radke will head on down to second. 1,000 will take his base at first, then bring up the DH, Clayton Yana. He is hitting on behalf of the right fielder, Luke Filardo. So 2 outs, 2 runners on for Mineral Point. Time is called by Yana. That's going to miss outside and high, ball 1. Weston sets up inside for the pitch. And they're going to get him on a called strike 1. 1-1 the count. And a swinging strike 2 for Yana. 1-2 the count with 2 away here in the top of the first inning. And got him swinging on strike 3. So the Pointers will score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We'll be back with Viroqua's top of the order and Miles Fry in just a moment. Starting things off for Viroqua in the bottom half of the first inning will be the shortstop, Miles Fry. In the field for the Pointers, we have Bryce Fomstead doing the pitching, Bylan Lee behind the plate, Brady Radke at first, Landon 1,000 at second, Adam Cody at short, Jackson Wendhausen at third, Gibson Sporley in left, Grady Finley in center, and Luke Filardo in right. First 2 pitches were balls, kind of low and away to Fry to bring the count to 2-0. Upstairs, ball 3. 3-0 the count. I'm sure Fry has the red light from the third base coach, Nate Noggle. Here should be the automatic. Strike 1. 3-1 the count. Now with orders to swing away, will be hit down the third base line foul to bring the count to full, 3-2. And that's going to be fouled up to what looks to be the pitcher, Momstead. And that will be out number 1 in this half of the inning. Now to the plate, Jack Olson, the third baseman. He is followed by the right fielder, Tyler Quackenbush. First base called, strike 1. One and 1 the count. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. And that's going to be hit to the shortstop, Cody. And it's going to be a bad throw. That's going to be an E6. E6. And he'll get an extra base out of that ordeal. That'll bring up Tyler Quackenbush, right fielder, with a man on second. That's going to be a little upstairs, ball 1. And that's going to be fouled off for strike 1. One and 1 the count with a runner on second. He's going to check the runner, Jack Olson. Pitch. It's going to be a curveball that dropped out of sight. Tyler almost checked the swing, but he didn't go all the way over. 2-1 the count. And that's going to be hit just past the second baseman and bobbled a little bit by Filardo in right field. Jack Olson's going to come around to score and give Quack a single and an RBI. Center fielder Connor Matheson up to bat. Matthew Weston, the catcher, on deck. Just one out, runner on first, and one across the board for Viroqua to take an early lead here in the first inning. And a wild throw back to first to check the runner at Quackenbush, and he'll be safe at second with a stolen base. And now a runner in scoring position. Matheson had a big hit, had a It was essentially the game-winning triple last night. And that's going to be fouled back towards the backstop for strike one. 1-1 the count to Matheson. That's going to miss inside, ball 2. That's going to be a shot up the middle. Be at least a single. They're going to bring Quackenbush in. There's going to be a play at the plate, and he will be called out. And that's going to be an 8-2 put out. And that will be a single from Matheson. Not a fielder's choice, in my opinion. Now with 2 outs, a runner on first. That'll bring up the catcher, Matthew Weston, with the pitcher, Braden Peterson, on deck. 2 away, runner on first. Bomstead checks the runner, gets the sign. First pitch is away. It's going to be called strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Viroqua will score 1 run on 2 hits. 1 left on base. It's a great throw on that hit from Connor Matheson. Center fielder Grady Finley to Bylan Lee at the plate for out number 2 and Tyler Quackenbush. So we will take a quick break, come back with the top of the second after this. Starting things off, the top of the second is Adam Cody with a shot to center field. Getting underneath it, making the grab for out number 1 is Connor Matheson. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jackson Wendhausen, followed by the catcher, Bylan Lee. So after 1 complete inning, the pitch count was even at 21. First pitch, a called strike 1 to Wendhausen, and that's going to be a called strike 2. So Peterson way ahead in the count, 0-2. That's going to be upstairs for ball 1. Seven, 8, 9 part of the, or 6, 7, 8, I should say. Part of the order for Mineral Point. Count is now 2-2. This is Wendhausen. We've got Bylan Lee and Gibson Sporley to round things out. Count is full at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit. Little chopper picked up by Fry. And the throw to first is in time for the 6-3 putout and out number 2 in the inning. What a play by Miles Fry and a scoop from Alex Hoyam at first. That'll bring up number 12, the catcher, Bylan Lee. First pitch called, strike one. Gibson Sporley, the left fielder, on deck. And that's going to be a called strike two. And that's going to be fouled back to stay alive. 0-2 the count. And they'll get him swinging on strike three. Pointers go 3 up, 3 down. No runs and no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We'll be back in the bottom half of the second inning, and leading things off for Viroqua will be the pitcher, Braden Peterson. Welcome back. Starting things off for the bottom half of the second inning is the pitcher, Braden Peterson. He is followed in the order by the left fielder, Ben Zom, and second baseman, Jack Dahl. First pitch, a called strike one to Peterson. That's going to be high and away, ball one. 1-1 the count. And got him with the curveball. 1-2. And they're going to get him swinging for the first out of the inning. Left fielder Ben Zom up to the plate.
Left fielder, Ben Zom.
Zom is followed in the order by Jack Dahl and Alex Hoyam. It's the 6, 7, 8 part of the order, and Zom is going to hit a little blooper to the left fielder, Gibson Sporley, for a single, and Viroqua has a base runner. And the pitch and the bunt attempt is fouled back for strike one. Here's the pitch from Sporley, bunted down the first base line. They're going to have a wild throw. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Dahl and advance Zom to second. Throw was not on point. And as we take a little break on the mound, we'll hear from a few of our sponsors and be right back after this. Well, after a little conference on the mound by the Mineral Point Pointers, we will resume play here in the bottom of the second inning. Viroqua has 2 on, and the first baseman, Alex Hoyam, to the plate. That's going to catch the outside corner for strike one. Dahl reached on a fielder's choice with an off-balance throw by the pitcher, Vomstead, to second. They were unable to get the out as Zom headed down to second base after the bunt from Dahl. So 1-1 the count to Hoyam. And a hit right to the shortstop. They're going to flip to second. And they're going to get the double play. And that's going to be a 6-4-3 double play to close out the inning. Viroqua will have no runs on 1 hit, 2 left on base, no errors committed by the Pointers. And we will be back with the top of the third inning, being led off by the number 9 hitter, Gibson Sporley, when we return. Welcome back to the top of the third inning. Viroqua has a 1-0 lead over Mineral Point with the number 9 hitter in the box for the Pointers, the left fielder, Gibson Sporley. Braden Peterson starting off the pitchers are both at 31 pitches apiece here to start the third inning. First pitch, a ball to Sporley. That's going to get right down the middle for a first called. No, that's going to be a ball. Boy, I was wrong. 2-0 the count, and a swinging strike one. No, I was right. They were just a little behind on the old scoreboard. 1-2 the count to Sporley. And they're getting him swinging for out number 1. That'll bring up the top of the order in Bryce Vomstead, the pitcher, followed by the center fielder, Grady Finley. Vomstead popped up to center field back in the first inning. That's going to be a curveball and a called strike one. And they'll get him swinging with a little foul tip for strike 2. 0-2 the count to the leadoff hitter, Vomstead. Nobody on, 1 out. Top of the third inning, the pitch, foul back. And this is going to be hit to Miles Fry, who makes a little jumping catch for out number 2. What a great play by Miles Fry. 2 outs, nobody on. Center fielder Grady Finley, who grounded out to third on the 5-3 putout back in the first inning. He is followed in the order by the first baseman, Brady Radke. Here's the first pitch from Peterson. Is going to miss inside, ball 1. And that curveball is going to drop right in for strike 1. 1-1 the count to Finley. And that's going to miss outside, 2-1 the count. And they'll get him swinging on strike 2. That'll even the count up at 2 apiece. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the third inning. Here's the windup and the pitch from Peterson. Swung on and chopped to Peterson, and it'll be the 1-3 putout. And out number 3 in the inning. Mineral Point scores no runs on no hits. Viroqua committed no errors, no one left on base. So we'll be back in just a moment's time after a word from a few of our sponsors. And Viroqua will have the top of the order coming up with Miles Fry after this. And here we go, the bottom half of the third inning. And leading things off, just like he did back in the first, is the leadoff hitter, Miles Fry, the shortstop. First pitch from Vomstead. It's going to be a little high. Rosh kind of giving him that. Could have gone either way. It's going to be a little chopper to short, and that's going to go off the tip of his glove. Not sure if they're going to give that. That's going to be an error. Going to be an E6.
Third baseman, Jack Goldsmith.
on Adam Cody and put Miles Fry on first. Well, that could have gone either way. That was kind of a hard hit ground ball that kind of took a bad hop there right at the end. But I'll listen to the Lewison boys over here. Jack Olson reached on an error back in the first inning and ended up being the first run and the only run so far. He'll pop up to the center fielder, Grady Finley, for out number 1.
Right fielder, Tyler Quackenbush.
So that'll bring up the right fielder, Tyler Quackenbush, who had a single back in the first inning, but then was thrown out at home by Grady Finley on the hit from Connor Matheson. And the pitch, foul back for strike 1. That's going to catch the inside corner on the left-handed batter for strike 2. Momstead checks Fry at first, and he's going, but it's going to be a foul tip, so they'll send Fry back to first. And Quackenbush still alive, 0-2 the count. So 1 out, runner on first. The count is 0-2, and he's going to foul that one back again to stay alive. Got Connor Matheson, the center fielder, on deck. Momstead throws over to first, check Miles Fry. He is safe. And that's going to miss high, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Quackenbush. Momstead checks Fry at first, and the pitch is going to miss inside, and Fry is going to take off and make his way to second with a stolen base. And that evens the count up at 2 apiece. And this will be a high fly ball. The second baseman going back and making the grab. And there was a tag up from Fry, who is now on his, or was on his way to third. So that is going to be out number 2, but did serve a purpose in moving Fry down to third base and bring up Connor Matheson, who singled back in the first inning. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back for strike 1. Matheson fouled in the order by the catcher, Matthew Weston. And this is going to be a high fly ball to Finley in center field, who's going to get underneath it and make the grab for out number 3. So no runs come across the board. No hits. There was 1 error committed and 1 left on base. We'll be back with the top of the fourth inning. And after 3 complete, Viroqua is in the lead by a score of 1-0. Welcome back. We're just starting things off in the top of the fourth inning. And starting things off for the Pointers will be the first baseman, Brady Radke, who he singled to left field back in the first inning. Give the Pointers their first base runner of the day. That's going to drop in for a called strike one. Radke fouled in the order by the second baseman, Landon Thousand, and the DH, Clayton Yana. And that's going to be a pop fly to center field. Connor Matheson going back, making the over-shoulder grab for out number 1.
Second baseman, Landon Thousand.
That'll bring up Landon Thousand, who walked back in the first inning. Pitch count was even when the fourth inning started off at 43 pitches apiece. First pitch to Thousand was a called strike 1, and that'll be a called strike 2. Oh, 2 the count. And this is going to be swung on and hit to left or right field. And coming over making the grab is Tyler Quackenbush. And now with 2 gone in the top of the fourth inning, that brings the DH Clayton Yana to the plate. He's followed by the shortstop Adam Cody. Yana struck out in the first inning. This is his second plate attempt. He's going to foul this one back into the parking lot area for strike 1. Second pitch swung on and missed, strike 2. Oh, 2 to Yana, no base runners. And that's going to get him looking at strike 3. So the Pointers go 3 up, 3 down. No runs come across the board on no hits, no errors committed, and no one left on base. We'll be back with the bottom half of the fourth inning and Matthew Weston after this. Starting things off in the bottom half of the fourth inning for Viroqua is the catcher, Matthew Weston, who struck out back in the first inning. He's followed in the order by the pitcher, Braden Peterson, and the left fielder, Ben Zom. He will swing at that first pitch for a strike 1. Baumstead misses just high for ball 1. Peterson threw just 10 pitches last inning. And this is going to be a high fly ball to left center field. The left fielder, Gibson Sporley, coming over making the grab for out number 1. Braden Peterson now up to the plate. He struck out back in the second inning. And this is going to be hit to center field, and making the grab is Grady Finley for out number 2. Left fielder Ben Zom hit a single to left field back in the second inning. Made it all the way to second base before the double play with the Alex Hoyam and Jack Dahl back in the second inning. First pitch called strike 1. That's going to be high and inside to even the count up at 1 apiece. Wind up in the pitch from Vomstead. High fly ball to center field. And Finley coming over making the grab. So Viroqua goes 3 up, 3 down with 3 fly balls. No runs come across the board on no hits, no errors committed, no one left on base. So we'll come back with the top of the 5th inning, and leading things off for the Pointers will be the shortstop, Adam Cody. Leading things off the top of the 5th inning for the Mineral Point Pointers is the shortstop, Adam Cody. First pitch outside for ball 1. And this is going to be a line drive shot off the glove of Tyler Quackenbush, waiting to see if the powers that be give this an error or not. And they will. They're going to give it an error. Going to be an E9. E9 for Cody. And now the Pointers have a base runner. Haven't had a base runner since back in the 1st inning. This is Jackson Wendhausen, the 3rd baseman, showing bunt. And he's going to take that as a called strike 1. And Cody will remain at first base. 0-1 the count, checks the runner, shows bunt again, and is a miss for strike 2. They're showing a 1-2 count on the scoreboard. Wendhausen, that's a swing and a foul back towards the backstop. He's still alive at 1-2. Pitch, and that's going to be fouled almost straight back between the first base dugout and home plate. And they're checking the ball for some scuffs on that guy. Count remains 1-2 to Wendhausen. Byron Lee, the catcher, on deck. Nobody out. Runner on, and this is going to be chopped foul down the first baseline. Count remains 1-2. Time called by Wendhausen. It's going to be high and inside, ball 2. Maybe it's 1-2. Yes, I was right. 1-2 now the count. That's going to be in the dirt. Now it's 2-2. That's going to be outside, and that's going to be off the backstop. Not going to be in time. So that'll be a wild pitch. And now a runner in scoring position at second is Adam Cody. Full count, 3-2 to Wendhausen. Peterson checks the runner. Looks like Matthew Weston called time. Here comes the payoff pitch from Peterson. Checks the runner at second. And swing and a miss. Strike 3. First out in the top of the 5th inning. That'll bring up the catcher, Bylan Lee, with a runner on second. 1 out. Followed in the order by Gibson Sporley, the left fielder. Pearson checks the runner. Just a little low for ball 1. And that's going to miss just high, ball 2. Two-0 to Lee. Adam Cody on second. This is going to miss upstairs and just a bit outside. 3-0 count. And Noggle is going to go out and have a little chat with the infield. So we'll take a quick break and come right back after this. Well, we come back to a full count. No, I'm sorry, 3-0 count to Bylan Lee, the catcher, here in the top of the 5th inning. We've got 1 out and a runner on second with Adam Cody. In the on-deck circle is Gibson Sporley, the left fielder, and the top of the order to follow. And that's going to miss inside for ball 4. And now a runner on first and second with 1 out is Gibson Sporley. So the tying run on second, the go-ahead run on first. Sporley struck out back in the 3rd inning. Pointers haven't had a base runner since the 1st inning, hadn't had a hit since the 3rd batter, just 1 hit so far in the game. And that was by the first baseman, Brady Radke. First pitch to Sporley, a called strike 1. That's going to be just downstairs for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Foul tip for strike 2. So 1-2 the count to Sporley. Runners on first and second. The pitch from Peterson is going to miss outside. Ball 2. That evens count up at 2 apiece. Leadoff hitter Bryce Vomstead on deck. Grady Finley in the hole for the Pointers. And that's going to be a curveball right in the zone for a looking strike 3. And the old backwards K in the book. Now with 2 outs, there's two guys on. The pitcher, Bryce Vomstead. Up to the plate. Could be a big moment for the Pointers to at least tie the game up, if not pull ahead. The score is 1-0 here in the top of the 5th inning. It's got a courtesy runner for the catcher, Byron Lee, who walked most recently there at first base. I don't see who we have there. Looks like Cole Ripp will be doing the base running on behalf of the catcher. 1-0 the count to Vomstead. Checks the runner at second. And Vomstead's going to foul this back toward the parking lot for strike one. This is going to be fouled back for strike two. It's 1-2. The pitch is going to miss way outside. Even the count up at 2 apiece. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Pointers here in the top of the 5th inning. And a swinging strike 3, and that will end the inning. No runs come across the board. No hits. Viroqua committed 1 error. 2 left on base for the Pointers. So the score will remain 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and starting things off for Viroqua will be the second baseman, Jack Dahl. Starting things off in the bottom half of the 5th inning will be the second baseman, Jack Dahl. Jack Dahl reached on a bunt, actually, back in the 2nd inning. It was a fielder's choice to move Ben Zom over to second base, and the wild throw from Vomstead. And now the bunt attempt is going to be fouled back for strike 1. Dahl followed in the order by the first baseman Alex Hoyam, and the top of the order and Miles Fry. The 8-9-1. And that was a called strike 2 on Dahl. And the 0-2 pitch is going to be fouled up, and that's going to drop in the hole in left center field for a single. The shortstop Cody was playing pretty shallow, and it kind of the triangle between left, short, and center, that ball dropped right in the middle of it. Perfectly placed for a single. Now Viroqua has a base runner. Their first base runner since the 3rd inning when Miles Fry reached on an error and got all the way to third base. And shown bunt. The throw is a little off, but they're going to get the throw. That's going to be a 2-4 putout for Jack Dahl. Caught stealing. That pitch was a ball to Hoyam. And that's going to miss inside for ball 2. And that's going to miss outside for 3-0 count to Hoyam. And the automatic strike 1. 3-1 the count to Hoyam. Miles Fry warming up in the batter's box. And that's going to catch the lower part of the strike zone to bring the count to full, 3-2. Momstead shook off the first call. And that's going to be a called strike 3 on the outside corner of the plate. They'll get him looking for out number 2 in the inning. Miles Fry popped up to the pitcher in the first inning, reached on an error. It was an error on the shortstop back in the third, and this is going to be a line drive right over the shortstop into left field for a single for Fry. And that's going to bring the third baseman, Jack Olson. Olson over 1 on the day. He did reach and score on an error in the first inning. That was an error on the third baseman. That was a wild throw. And that's going to be outside for ball 1. Olson, the only base runner to find home plate this game. The only run, 1-0, the score, as we're bringing in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's going to be strike 1. 1-1 the count. The runner's going, and the throw will not be in time. So Fry moves his way down to second base, and the count is 1-2 with 2 outs to Jack Olson. Runner now in scoring position. That's going to miss low. 2-2 now the count. 2 outs and a runner on second. And that's going to be a shot to the second base, and that's going to be a 4-3 put out for Olson, and out number 3 in the inning. No runs on 2 hits. 1 left on base. Score remains 1-0 after 5 complete. Leading things off in the top of the 6th inning for the Pointers is the center fielder, Grady Finley. Finley 0-for-2 on the day. And this is going to be a little short hopper to short. And the throw will be in time from Miles Fry to Alex Hoyam for the 6-3 putout and out number 1 in the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman, Brady Radke, who is 1-1 on the day with a single to left field back in the first inning. And he popped up to Matheson in center back in the 4th. Count is 1-1 to Radke. He's followed in the order by the second baseman, Landon Thousand. Count is 3-1 to Radke. This will be fouled back to bring the count to full, 3-2. That's going to be a dropped strike 3, but tagged by Weston.
Second baseman, Landon Thousand.
That'll bring up Landon Thousand, the second baseman, with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Now the count is 3-1 to Thousand. Next up is the DH, Clayton Yana. Thousand walked back in the first and will walk again here in the top of the sixth inning. That'll be fouled back for strike one. So 1-0 the count to Yana, with the shortstop Adam Cody on deck. He'll swing at strike two. And they're going to get him swinging. So Mineral Point will score no runs on no hits, no errors, one left on base. To round out the bottom half of the sixth inning, Viroqua will have the right fielder, Tyler Quackenbush, up to the plate when we return. Welcome back. We've got the right fielder, Tyler Quackenbush, up to the plate. He singled back in the first inning and has the only RBI of the game so far, but was caught at a play at the plate from a throw from Finley in center field to Lee at home plate and was called out. And this will be a shot to center field. Finley going back with quite the catch. Almost went over. He was at the warning track with the fence at his back. So that will be out number one for the Blackhawks. That'll bring up the center fielder, Connor Matheson, who singled back in the first and popped up to center field in the third. He is 1-1 on the day so far and just saw the first called strike of his at bat. 1-0 the count, and a shot to center field. It's going to drop in for a single. The center fielder is going to overrun just a little bit, and that'll be an extra base. We'll count that as a double. I guess should be an extra base hit here. Single with an E8 is what I'm hearing behind me. And that'll bring Matthew Weston, the catcher, who is 0-2 on the day. He struck out in the first and popped up to left in the fourth. He saw a called strike one. And a called strike two. And this is going to be a shot to right center field and an immaculate catch by Filardo at left. But that will advance Matheson over to third. What a grab by Filardo in right field. Well, he stayed at the bag. They checked the runner at second. So the pitcher, Braden Peterson, with 2 outs and a runner on third, a chance to advance the lead. Going to foul that first pitch back for strike 1. Score is still 1-0 Viroqua here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner on third and a chance to edge that up. That's going to be upstairs for ball 1. 1-1 the count to Peterson. Zom from left field on deck. Peterson is 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a pop up to center. Now with a 1-2 count with 2 outs. And that's going to be hit to left field. That'll bring Matheson in. And a RBI single for Peterson. And bring up the left fielder, Ben Zom. We're going to get a courtesy runner for Peterson, and that will be what looks to be Vinny Klum. So 2 outs, runner on first. Ben Zom is 1-1 on the day with a single to left field back in the 2nd inning and a pop-up to center. Zom is followed by Jack Dahl. First pitch going to be a called strike 1. This is going to be hit to the gap in right center for a single. They're going to hold Zom at first, and Klum, running on behalf of Braden Peterson, will make his way over to third base. And that brings up Jack Dahl, who reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning and singled in the 5th, but was thrown out, stealing second base. A little conference on the mound. So Jack Dahl, now they're going to, and they're going to get the pickoff, trying to get the run scored. But they're going to get Zom on the 1-3 putout, trying to create a pickle and score Klum from third base. But that will be out number 3. So 1 run will come across the plate on 2 hits. There was 1 error committed and 1 left on base for the Blackhawks. Starting things off in the 7th inning for the Pointers will be the shortstop, Adam Cody, when we return. Adam Cody, the shortstop, leading things off for the Pointers in the top of the 7th inning. Peterson just threw his 94th pitch, which happened to be a strike, first pitch to Cody. 78 pitches for Vomstead of Mineral Point. Thompson has 78 pitches. If he has to close out the bottom of the 7th, if the Pointers don't score. 1-2 the count. With a shot to left center field. That's going to be picked up by Matheson and thrown in for a single.
Third baseman,
Jackson Wenhausen, the third baseman, up to the plate. Peterson checks runner at first. That's going to miss inside for ball 1. Wenhausen followed in the order by Bylan Lee and Gibson Sporley. Wenhausen is 0 for 2 on the day. He with a grounder and a 6-3 put out back in the 2nd inning and a strikeout in the 5th. Count is 1-1. That'll be fouled back for strike 2. So runner on first, nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Pointers trail by a score of 2-0. Peterson checks runner at first, and a half-hearted swing for strike 3 from Wenhausen. So with one away, that'll bring up the catcher, Bylan Lee, who is 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the 2nd and a walk back in the 5th inning. And with 101 pitches, they're going to make a pitching change. Looks like you can figure out what's going on here for sure. The shortstop, Miles Fry, is going to take over the pitching duties. So we'll see who slides over to short after he gets done warming up. More from the top of the 7th here at the Park Bowl after this. Well, as we conclude the top half of the 7th inning, the position changes are as follows. They're going to bring Ben Zom into third, slide Jack Olson over to short. Miles Fry, of course, is taking the pitching duties over from Braden Peterson, who is in left field. So they're just going to slide some people around. No changes really to the order, just some position changes. So with 1 out, a runner on first in Adam Cody, the shortstop. This is the catcher, Bylan Lee. And we're going to switch things out for left and right field. Taking a little jog is Tyler Quackenbush and Braden Peterson. So Braden Peterson finds his home over in right field. Tyler Quackenbush will take Ben Zom's position in left. So 1 out, runner on first. Fry checks the runner. Gets the sign from Weston behind the plate. And Fry's first pitch is going to miss just low and inside for ball 1. And that's going to be in the same spot, fastball, low and inside for ball 2. And that's going to miss just inside and low again for ball 3. First 3 pitches from Fry have been balls. And in trouble of possibly putting the tying run at first base. Here's the pitch from Fry, the automatic, strike 1. That's going to catch the outside corner for strike 2. Brings the count to full. Fry has battled his way back 3-2 the count. Fry checks the runner at first. And here comes the payoff pitch. Swinging, strike 3. Blackhawks just one run away from punching their ticket to the sectional semifinals. So we have a pinch hitter, number 34, which is Evan Kearns. So this is Kearns' first at bat of the game. Batting for Gibson Sporley, the left fielder who struck out twice. He was 0-2 on the day. First pitch from Miles Fry, outside and low, ball 1. And that's going to be a called strike 1, 1-1 the count. That's going to be fouled over toward the Mineral Point dugout for strike 2. 1-2 the count to the pinch hitter Evan Kearns. And that's going to be fouled down the first base line. Staying alive. This is going to be popped up. Third baseman Ben Zom coming in to make the grab. And Viroqua has won their regional final game against Mineral Point by a score of 2-0. So no runs will come across the board. On 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base for the Pointers. Looking back at the books for Viroqua, the only 2 runs scored, Jack Olson reached in the first on an error, was scored by a single from Tyler Quackenbush, and Braden Peterson scored Connor Matheson, who hit a single to center field and then reached second on an error. So those were the only 2 runs in the game for the Blackhawks. Mineral Point, no runs on just 2 hits. They committed what looks to be 3 errors on the game and left 6 people on base. Viroqua, of course, 2 runs scored on 6 hits. They committed just 1 error and also left, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on. So close game for the Blackhawks, but they will punch their ticket onto the sectional semifinal game. I am unsure of who they will play, but I believe the game will be in Prairie du Chien, and it may possibly be against Aquinas, but those are just rumblings from the press box. So, for Western Wisconsin Video Productions and Ken Manning, I am Carl Zuby, and we will catch up again soon on the diamond from Prairie du Chien.